Greetings shippers and nerdy list aficionados, it's time to take another look at some ships. Shipping being the process by which the relationships between characters, most often romantic, are explored by fans through transformative works. These can be canon or non-canonical pairings, and depending upon who is examining them, they can be deemed a little weird. I don't think they're weird at all, but that probably makes some people think I'm weird. But I have a channel dedicated to shipping, so yeah. Today our character of choice is Nightwing, Dick Grayson, and we're gonna take a look at his top 10 weirdest ships. It's about to go down. Number 10. Roy Harper, aka Speedy, aka Red Arrow, aka Arsenal. Now depending upon how long you've been a comic fan, this ship makes perfect sense. These two have quite the history and have been in teams together for decades. They've known each other since their sidekick days and have both transitioned into adult heroes, trying to break out of their mentor's shadows. Most people began shipping these pretty seriously in their Titans days. And the Outsiders. These two have been through a lot together. Dick's Batman angst, Roy's drug addiction, later his adjustment to parenthood, and through it all, they've remained friends. There's a bond there, in part due to the similarity of their mentors, though they differed in key ways. Their tales have paralleled and in other ways contrasted, and for some, this was too compelling a combination to pass up. This is still one of the big pairings when it comes to Dick Grayson. It may have slowed, but for those getting into comics, there's so much backlog and history to dive into, they may just find themselves on this ship train. Number 9. Let's make some people uncomfortable. J-Dick, the pairing of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Now some reject this outright, feeling that Robins share a sibling-style relationship, which makes this ship squicky. However, Dick and Jason have a complicated history, and actually were not very close before Jason's death, due to Dick's jealousy about how quickly he was replaced after Bruce fired him. Yes, Dick got fired. No wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, new 52y rebirthy stuff. When Jason was resurrected, things got even more complicated with the two. They were still at odds, especially after Jason tried to be Nightwing and was running around killing people. But ultimately their relationship settled into Dick wanting to help Jason get reacclimated and bring him back into the fold. Some felt these two were just removed enough that a romantic relationship was possible, and that they could understand things no one else could, as part of the former Robins Club. This one's not for everyone, but it is for a decent amount of people. You might be surprised. Number 8. Wally West, the Flash. Formerly Kid Flash. Firstly, it just has not been a good time to be Wally West these past few years. The editorial staff wants him dead, and well, they've succeeded a couple of times. He's dead at the time of this recording. But that's neither here nor there. He is also a close friend of Dick Grayson's, with a similar background to Roy's minus the angst. Wally's pretty well adjusted. Okay, here's the thing about Dick Grayson. He's shipped with pretty much everyone. He's just a beloved character. So, particularly with a history like these two have spanning back to the 60s and the era of the original Teen Titans, shipping was bound to happen. Add on top of that all the moments they've had throughout the years and appearing in series like Young Justice, and yeah, this pairing is not going anywhere anytime soon. Number 7. Supergirl. Now this is one of those ships that more people are looking for and trying to figure it out than actually creating works for it. It's one of those pairings that can be traced back to a couple of comic panels. Specifically, this is the big one, this kiss. Yup, Supergirl just goes for it and kisses him right in front of Starfire. Might I add that she's lucky she's Kryptonian, or she'd be dead. It's also been shown canonically that she has a crush on him, drawing doodles of the two together. It's not uncommon for the characters of the DC universe to be thirsty for Nightwing. Not since Devin Grayson made it one of his character traits during her run on the 90s solo series Nightwing. This kiss comes to us from Supergirl number 3 in 2005. What do you think? Would this couple work, or is it just a one-sided crush? Or now are you considering it? Number 6. Catwoman. Now you may be perplexed by this, since well most people know that Catwoman is Batman's love interest, but in various iterations she gets quite cougarly with Nightwing. Now for some this is everything they ever wanted from a ship, the taboo nature, the intrigue, the narrative twisting to find plots that would make them meet. Which, okay, that doesn't actually take that much twisting. This has happened in Nightwing's comic, again, see Grayson's run, but also in the 4th season of the animated series, in what appeared to be an attempt to fluster him or bother Batman. Seriously, is Dick just exuding some kind of pheromone in the comics? I mean, it's possible. Nightwing seems into it, at least in his own series. This is a fringe ship for both of them though, as you know they're both members of much bigger pairings. Number 5. The Midnighter. He hails from Wildstorm Comics, an independent company founded by Jim Lee, who was later joined by others others. It became a publishing imprint of DC in 1999 and has since had a complicated history that we'll leave aside for now. The Midnighter, or Lucas Trent, most likely, is a member of the Authority and clearly modeled at least partially on Batman. He is an openly gay superhero married to his universe's Superman equivalent of Apollo, or he was anyway. Again, the New 52. So they were broken up to reintroduce a will they won't they dynamic, and the universes were also brought more into line with each other, which led to Midnighter taking part in Dick Grayson's solo series, Grayson. That was the period where Dick Grayson was a secret agent, and that led to, you guessed it, shipping, and Midnighter openly flirting with him. Constantly. There's a slight Batman and Robin dynamic here with the age gap presented, and well, the character traits that the Midnighter shares with Batman, although he's much more than the pastiche. The Wildstorm universe was intense and he's grown a lot since the start. There are so many panels of these two that it might as well be ship bait. Also lots of BDSM undertones. Well, people took the bait, because if you enter the shipping realm, you're gonna see this. If you're interested in this, then just read Grayson, because it's pretty much doing all the work for you. Number 4. Donna Troy. A character with a confusing history. Donna and Dick have always skirted around each other in comics, but have always run in the same circles. Once again, circa Titans, and of course their shared bond of being sidekicks. The two tend to have a more sibling-style relationship, but that's never stopped shippers before, and it won't now. Some are drawn to the understanding these two have shared, no matter what their roles. From Robin to Nightwing to Batman to Secret Agent back to Nightwing, there's always been Donna, and he's been there for her through her ever-shifting retconned backstories. For some, this is a stable relationship that promises a lack of the drama that tends to plague these two. In the relationships at least, there's always outside drama. Sometimes you just want to see someone happy. Number 3. You. You heard that right. You. Within fandom, there is a practice known as X-Reader Fix, where the character in question is paired with the reader, which of course serves as self-insert for people who are very thirsty for Nightwing, and they just want all the other characters to get out of the way. These can get pretty smutty, of course, but they can also be introspective. You never know. Read the tags. Now, these fics are not for everyone, but for those who are into it, they're really into it. Number 2. Deathstroke the Terminator, aka Slade Wilson. Now this is a big one and arises from a couple of different canons, and also has an inappropriate ship name that I can't tell you, but you can guess down below. Plus, the ship also makes some people super uncomfortable, so what more could you ask for? Deathstroke debuted in the New Teen Titans number 2 and has been a staple ever since. One of the relationships that evolved throughout the series was his bond with Dick Grayson, whom he began to take a slight mentorship role towards, but also kept an antagonistic bend while at times being equal. It was an intriguing relationship that continued on to Nightwing's solo series and was expanded upon. The dynamics were a dark twist on the Batman-Robin dynamic, and people played it to the hilt. The ship had another surge with the Teen Titans animated series that aired in 2003. This was a much darker take, as you can well imagine, and took off after the apprenticeship arc. Do you dare check this out? It's actually got some really cool works, but if you can't handle that, then you're definitely not ready for number 1. Number 1. Batman. Bruce Wayne himself. So yes, for most the relationship between Bruce and Dick is a familial one, father and son, but there are some who want to explore the more romantic or taboo sides of things. Forbidden crushes, things growing into feelings. Most of these take place from Dick as Nightwing, but not all do. There are tagging systems employed in fandom so you know what you're getting into, and what to avoid if you so choose. There's an interesting history here, because actually all the way back in the early era of comics, when nothing was actually particularly going on between these two, a book was written in 1954 by psychiatrist Frederick Wortham called Seduction of the Innocent that implied that the relationship between his young prepubescent ward and Batman, his father figure, was something sexual. It actually led to the creation of Batwoman to deflect from those ideas that the comics were indoctrinating young children. Ironically for some, this planted the seed for this taboo ship to flourish years later, alongside numerous adaptations such as the Batman 66 series. If you look up these two, chances are you've stumbled upon this. And for some, this would definitely qualify as the weirdest ship. So those were the top 10 weirdest Nightwing ships. Had you heard of them? Which was the weirdest to you? And of course, let me know if there are any other character ships you want to hear about down below. And while you're down there, comment, give a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course check out some more lists because we've got plenty. And we'll see you all again soon here on Top 10 Nerd. Bye bye!